So, good morning all of you. Good morning, sir. Oh. So, which department are you in? ECE. Everyone is in ECE? AI. Okay. So, computer science, AI and ECE. 3 departments, is it? IT. Okay. Okay, so when did you join the college? First day today? Third day, okay. So many congratulations. How are you feeling? Good or bad? Okay. So many congratulations for getting admission into this one of the prestigious university in this area, right? No? I think yes. Okay, anyway, congratulations. You got admission, right? That first congratulations for that, and of course admission into very nice university. So I'm going to speak on art of mind control. Okay, so I just wanted to briefly discuss about this topic. Then we can have some question answers at the end. So this material, what I'm going to show it here is what I learned over the years as a student, as a teacher, as a father, as a son, whatever I learned in my life, just try to capture and just keep it here. So I have seen in the life how technology has transformed everyone's life, right? See, if you see 30 years back, there was no smartphone, right? Apple and BlackBerry were fruits. They were not phones. Correct? Now they are phones. And if you see, interestingly, before 1950, during the Second World War, the most of the research has done, and all the electronics, communication, the computer science, whatever you name it, AI, ML, everything was invented only during Second World War. But to realize that we didn't have any technology, so it took so long for us to get here. Now once the transistor was invented, then later they tried to integrate many transistors onto single chip, things have changed. So in 2000 or late 90s, the small phone was introduced, right, by Nokia. Then after that, things have evolved so much so that now everything is in your hand, right? See, when I got admission at IIT Delhi, to confirm the admission, I have to go to the bank, take a demand draft. I know you know DD? Yeah, we have to take a DD and submit it, send it through a courier, then they will check it, then they will accept it, then your admission is confirmed. Now, for you on fingertips, you can transfer money from any place to any place, right? Right? You can access so much content on the internet just by sitting here. So everything is in your hand. But unfortunately, there is also a lot of distraction nowadays, right? That's why this age is called age of distraction. How do you manage to get concentration in the age of distraction? Very difficult, right? So this topic is about how do you manage your mind so that you can actually get great success, happiness and joy in the life. Okay? Okay, so there are two pictures in this. Anybody knows who are these people? You don't know who are these people? Anyone? The first picture is Robert Williams, second picture is John Nash. So the Robert Williams was the biggest comedian of America. He made the entire America to laugh. But one day evening, he went up in the apartment He jumped out of his apartment and committed a suicide. And his suicide note was, I made the entire America to laugh, but I'm not satisfied. I don't know why am I leaving. I'm feeling depressed. And he committed a suicide. And the second guy is John Nash. He is biggest mathematician we are seeing after 50s. He is the one who introduced game theory. He is the one who gave a lot of algorithms for market predictions, and there is a lot of things in economics. But he has a strange disease. When he walks on the street, he imagines the people around who are not there and talk. Right? See, one guy, according to everyone, was a very successful man, and everybody would love to talk to him and would just take photograph with him. The second one, according to the world, is not very famous. Right? You don't know him. And only few mathematicians know him. And he has done a lot of great contribution to the world, though he was not really well, health-wise. So who are these people? Wow. Next picture. Helen Keller. You said this? Thank you. Okay, the first picture is Hitler. What did Hitler do? He killed millions of Jews, right? Because he believed in something. Finally, he took a gun and shot himself. Correct, na? What about Helen Keller? She was very, very, very smart girl. Her mother says by the age of 10 months, she could actually speak like an elderly girl. But by the age of, once her first year was completed, at the age of second year end, she lost ability to speak, ability to see, ability to talk, ability to hear, you name it. How do you communicate with the world? Either you should be able to see, or you should be able to hear, or you should be able to talk. She doesn't have any ability. But she is the inspiration for many, many people till now. What is she famous for? Braille? Actually, she wrote a lot of books. Though she could not communicate with anyone in the world at very young age, she has taken life as a challenge, learned so many things, and become an inspiration for many of us till today. Now, what is the difference if you see the first picture, the Robert Williams, he committed a suicide. The second picture, John Nash, has become the biggest mathematician. Now in the second picture, if you see, here, Hitler killed so many people, and Helen Keller has actually become very inspirational role for many people. Now what is that which makes a person to believe in something, to work on something, and to achieve something bigger? Okay, so what makes a person different is his mind, right? That guy's mind only made him to commit suicide. This guy's mind, Hitler's mind, only made him to kill so many people. Do you all agree? Helen Keller has every reason to not do anything in her life. She can't speak, she can't talk, she can't hear, she can't see. But with her mind, she could achieve big, big things in life. So that's why the mind is very, very, very powerful. So now let's try to understand what actually the mind is. We all get confused between mind and brain. Mind is different from brain. So if you have a computer, in a computer you have a hardware like CPU, right? Now that CPU write a lot of programs. You can use your computer to launch a rocket and kill hundreds and thousands of people, or you can use a computer to help in a surgery and save a person's life. Right? The computer can be used for any purpose. Similarly, all of us have a brain, which is bunch of neurons and a flash. If you open the skull, you see a brain. It's like a CPU. But how does a CPU act actually depends upon what type of software you have written, right? So if the software is good, it works for the benefit of the people. If the software is bad, it does not help the benefit of the people. It does not help for the people. So similarly, in this world, we acquire knowledge through senses, right? I see you, you're seeing me and I'm seeing you. And when you walk on a street, you see so many movie posters, pictures, and so on and so forth. And also hear so much music. So, in this world, we acquire the knowledge through senses. The way the computer also acquires the knowledge through sensors, right? You have a cell phone. How do you communicate with cell phone? Either to touch or through a microphone, right? So similarly, you also communicate to your brain through your senses. Now, how does the brain react for a given input depends upon how your mind is working. So the mind is basically storehouse of thoughts, previous experiences, and unfulfilled desires. This is what the mind consists of. Now, how does the mind work? How do you actually function in a certain situation, react in such a situation, certain situation, actually depends upon how did you program your mind. Now, the conscious self is yourself. Alright? Okay. Now let's try to, okay. So this is a beautiful picture to understand the mind, senses, intelligence. How many horses do you see? 5 horses you see? Right? Yeah, so each horse represents one of the sense. Do you see that? What is the first horse? The second one? Third one? Fourth? Touch. Fourth is touch. Okay? Sense of touch. Fifth one? Tongue. Right? So this way, we all have these 5 senses. These 5 senses are compared to 5 horses. You know why? Because nose would like to smell something very fragrant. Eyes would like to see something very, very beautiful. Ears would like to hear some music. Tongue would like to speak or taste some food. Skin would like to touch something soft. Now all these 5 senses wants to do different things. Now they are all controlled by, all these horses are controlled by a rope. You right? See each reins, each horse is being controlled by one of the rope. And there is a driver who is sitting there. He is trying to control the horses with the help of rope. And along with this, there is a person sitting there. Who is that? He is you, the passenger. Right? Now imagine all these 5 horses running 5 different directions. What happens to passenger? He will meet with an accident, right? Similarly, all our senses would like to do different things, but they will be controlled by mind. And further, the mind is controlled by intelligence. Intelligence, with the help of mind, takes the senses and makes the senses to walk in the right direction. Do you understand this analogy? So, there is a difference between senses, mind, intelligence. So, mind is more powerful than senses, and intelligence is more powerful than the mind. So, why do we care to study about this subject actually? Because the leading behavior researchers have told us that as much as 77% of everything we think is negative, counterproductive, and again works against us. So what scientists are telling? Most of the times, whatever we think, means if you get 100 thoughts next 10 minutes, out of 100 thoughts, 77% of the thoughts are negative thoughts. And they're not going to help you, they're going to work against your work. Then they are going to create so much disturbance in you that you will not be able to focus on anything. On an average day, The average person runs about 60,000 thoughts through his mind, all the most of which are random and unnecessary. So in a day, how many thoughts you get? 60 to 70,000 thoughts you get in a day. And most of those thoughts come in a random fashion. They don't have any deterministic nature. And all these thoughts, right, are actually negative thoughts. Most of them. That's what we saw. And they're not new also. There are similar thoughts we keep getting again and again. That's why a lot of researchers have told us that as much as 77% of everything we think is negative, counterproductive, and works against us. Okay, this is the reason why we do this way. 95% of those thoughts were the same as that of you thought the day before. They're not the new thoughts. They're the same thoughts. So that's why the medical scientists have said that 75% of all illness is self-induced. What they're telling? If there are 100 people sick in this world, in this room, 75% of the people have not physical sickness, the sickness is due to their mind. Right? Then, what is the problem? Today we are able to control remote satellites in space, but unfortunately we are not able to control our own minds. Right? How do I control my mind? What is the nature of the mind? Nature of the mind is, if it is controlled, it acts as our best friend. If it is uncontrolled, it is our greatest enemy. A controlled mind is a greatest friend, whereas uncontrolled mind is a greatest enemy. That's what you saw that Robert William went up and committed suicide. Whereas Helen Keller, though she had every reason to comply, she worked hard and became very successful. That's why, if it is controlled, it's our best friend. If it is uncontrolled, it will be our greatest enemy. Can the mind be our friend? That's a question we have. Yes, the mind can be made into our friend. Mind is more generally compared to a knife. Why? Is knife good or bad? Sometimes good, sometimes bad, based on who is using it. Right? For example, if you give a knife to a doctor, he will do a surgery and save a person's life. But if you give the knife to a thief, what does he do? He will stab a person and rob him. Right? So if you give a knife to a thief, what will he do? He will scare the people and take all the money. Similarly, the mind is also compared to a knife. If you can make mind your best friend, you can do anything in the life and achieve big, big things. But if you do not know how to make your mind as a best friend, it naturally becomes a greatest enemy. And it's just going to disturb your life every minute. And many times it takes the life of the people. Okay. Now, what are the different characteristics of the mind? Before I tell this, I want to explain you something very interesting. How does the mind work? See, in this world, if you sow a thought, you reap an action. You know this? If you get a thought, after some time it become an action. How? See, for example, you walk out of this college and see a movie poster. Then what do you get? What do you want to do then? You want to watch a movie, right? Then you leave that place because you have an exam and you have to study. You are busy. Then you started studying. Then you keep on getting the same thought, wow, I should watch that movie. The second day again when you see that same movie poster, the thought becomes stronger. Correct or wrong? And third day you see the same movie poster, what happens? It becomes more stronger. Fourth day, you land in cinema theater. Very simple, right? So if you sow a thought, you reap an action. Very simple. In this world, everything works like this. The way your thoughts are, in the same way your actions will be. Now if you sow an action, you reap a habit. You agree? Whatever action you keep doing regularly, that becomes your habit. If you sow a habit, you reap a character. Do you all agree with this? That's why it is said, in the life, it's very, very, very important to understand where are our thoughts coming from. Actually, by definition, the mind consists of previous experiences, unfulfilled desires, and lot of random thoughts. This is what mind is made up of. Now, the thoughts to the mind comes from where? Who are with us? Who are my friends? What do I watch on YouTube? What books I read? What music I hear? What movies I watch? These define our thoughts. That's why it is said, if you sow a thought, you reap an action. If you sow an action, you reap a habit. If you sow a habit, you reap your character. If you sow a character, you reap your destiny. Now you may say, why? What I have to do? I'm an engineer. Just study well, get a good job, high-paid job. Then just become happy. And I like to do whatever I like to do. Who is there to ask me? I will do whatever I like. No. In life, the way we get the thoughts that controls our actions, and finally whether we are happy or not, what is our mental status, everything depends upon our thoughts, actions. Then finally our character actually we build depends upon our thoughts. That's what it is said. To build a right character is extremely important. Do you know there is a saying? It says, if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. So this way, character is very important. Many times people think in this world, if I study well, everything will be alright. It's not really true. See, I'll tell you one classic example. You have a very long distant relative in a very remote village. For a summer holidays you went there. You met all the family members. There was one small boy of 3 years old and you have been playing with him for a while. And suddenly he got a terrible stomach pain. Then immediately you took him to hospital. Then the doctor said, look, I'm not competent enough. This boy should get an operation done first. You should operate this boy immediately. Then he said there are 2 good doctors in this entire area. One doctor just studied MBBS, but he's a very good doctor. What do you mean a good doctor? He doesn't take extra money. He does not write all the diagnostic tests which are there in his hospital. Sometimes you go to a doctor, right? He'll make sure that every test in the hospital is done. Doesn't matter whether it's important or not. Some doctors, what they see, they'll also make sure that on your prescription sheet, all the medicines from the pharmacy are written. Whether it's useful or not, secondary. Right? He's not that type of doctor. He's a very, very nice doctor. This doctor only gives necessary medicine. He doesn't want to cheat anyone. Very good character. But he just studied MBBS. He's good, but just studied MBBS. And he said there is another doctor who is very famous. He studied masters in many, many specializations. He's an expert surgeon. He has done many, many surgeries. And a lot of people benefited from him also through his surgeries. But unfortunately, sometimes when he becomes very greedy, the patient goes into hospital, operation theatre with 2 kidneys, will come out of the operation theatre only with 1 kidney. What happened to other kidney? Sold. Correct, na? Now the question to you is, he said, see, there are only these two doctors. Where do you want to take this boy to? First hospital or second hospital? First doctor, second doctor? First doctor? But first doctor does not know how to do surgery. He's a good man. He knows medicine, but he's not expert in surgery. Why not second doctor? Because operation is successful, but patient will die later, not now, after a few days. See why? Because you see, in this world we all think, just we study well, that's enough. No. We also have to know that we should have a good character. Tomorrow when you go to a company or you go to some university to study further studies, what is most important is not just your competence to get a seat in the college. You also have to make sure that you have a good character. That's why for a person, competence and character both are important. So what I was telling you is, in the life, along with competence, the character is very important. The character makes a person very, very strong. See, when you go to your village and see a big banyan tree, very big tree, you ask your grandmother or father, "Arey, did you plant this tree?" They say, "No, I didn't plant." "So, who planted this tree?" "I don't know. When I was also a small boy, I saw this tree." And when you actually try to understand the history of the tree, it looks like it's a 400 years old tree. Now in 400 years, there were a lot of storms, a lot of rains, there were cyclones, right? There may be earthquake. So many things happen. But the tree is just standing as it is. Correct, na? Similarly, in the life also, we are all trying to grow higher, higher, higher in our competence. But in the life, generally we get failures. Once in a while we get success, right? Thomas Alva Edison, how many times he tried? 1,000 times, more than 1,000 times to get a bulb. Similarly, every time we try for something in life, it's not that we get a success. Generally we get a failure. Once in a while we get the success. So it's important to learn how to tolerate the failures, right? That's why the tree, though there were so many storms, there were cyclones, there were earthquakes, nothing happened to tree. It's just staying as it is and just trying to give the shade to people, give the fruits to the people, just serving. How did that happen? Because the roots of the tree are the strong and deep. If the tree roots are not strong and deep, even the first cyclone hit would have made the tree to collapse to the ground. How did it survive so many reversals, so many difficulties? Because the roots are strong and deep. Similarly, if a person has a strong character, he can actually take any reversals, any failures in the life. He is very strong internally. So this way, a person's thoughts which are coming from the mind can actually entirely control his life's destiny. Now you see here, the mind is extremely dangerous because the problem with our mind is it magnifies problem or a pleasure or anxiety, right? If somebody goes to a doctor and he says, "I see small problem in your stomach," it seems like you have to be tested with a CT scan. Do you know what mind says? "Oh, I got cancer, I'm going to die." Correct, na? The nature of the mind is, with a small problem, it will put under the zoom glass and zoom it and see. Similarly, if there is a pleasure, also, if I say this session is going to end 15 minutes early today, then wow, such a nice thing it is. You get happiness, right? Pleasure. Similarly, let's say that you are going to watch a movie today evening with your friend. Before even you go to movie theater, you start feeling so much joy. So the nature of the mind is, whether it's a problem or a pleasure, it zooms and shows it as a big. Similarly, anxiety, right? For example, you are coming to a college, you miss the bus, and you are getting late, and you are sick, you are not able to stand, then the anxiety keeps increasing, Rather it also says, you're going to miss exam today. Mind says you're going to fail in the exam. So mind's nature is chronic negative. Do you all observe this? The nature of the mind is, whether it's a problem, whether it's a pleasure, whether it's anxiety, it just zooms, magnifies. Correct? Then the mind imagines intensely. See that boy? He's imagining nicely. The day you got admission in the college, right? Your mind must have thought, I'll be the topper of my department. Then I'll get a gold medal. Then I'll go to America. Then I'll get a study from MIT, Stanford, Princeton, Harvard, I don't know which university. Then I'll become a CEO of Google. Correct, na? The mind has a power to imagine intensely. Do you all agree with this? Mind imagines. Something little happens, right? The mind keep imagining things in a dream world. Then further, the mind, see, there are 3 letters. What is the first letter? M. M stands for, it magnifies problem, pleasure or anxiety. I stands for, imagines intensely. Then N stands for, neglects the good instruction. If somebody comes and tells you, hey, tomorrow there is exam, you should study, don't watch YouTube. Then what will your mind say? Don't tell me. Do you think I'm a small boy to a small girl to listen? I know what I'm supposed to do. If anybody gives a good instruction, the mind says, get lost. Right? Then the D stands for, denies the reality. The mind denies the reality. What is the reality? If you watch YouTube all the time, you are going to fail in the exam. If your mother or father says, or your friend says, it says, hey, what are you talking? I'm a very good student. It does not accept the reality. The reality is actually very painful. So the mind generally denies the reality. These are the 4 problems every one of us are going through. Right? Because of this 4, there are 3 more problems we get to. What are those? First is compare. In this world, everybody compares with others. Do you agree with this? Right? We compare with our friends. Most of the times our misery is because we compare with others. Very simple. So you are in first year of engineering. Someday you'll go to 4th year of engineering. Not someday. Exactly after 3 years you spend here. You go to the 4th year. In the 4th year your placements will start. Everyone who is sitting in this room wants to get placed. It's obvious and natural. Then after the first day of placements, only 5% of the students will be placed. Even the students who have got very good GPA and toppers sometimes don't get placed. Now you go and ask a guy who studied really well, is a good student, or the students who are not studied well, not a good student, you go and ask him, why are you so sad? Just only 5% students are placed, only few companies came, there are so many companies to come and recruit all of us. Why are you worried? Do you know what he says? Actually, till yesterday I am okay, but today only I am becoming very miserable, very sad. Do you know why? He says, I am sad not because I didn't get job, because my roommate got the job. Correct, na? This is how we compare in this world. If I don't have, it's okay as long as my friends also don't have. My friends have it and I don't have. It's not okay. Not at all okay. That's what our mind says, right? In this world we compare miserably with everyone. In every respect we compare. See here, we're a short guy with a tall guy. The short guy is comparing with the tall guy. It's called unhealthy comparison. Actually, when you have written exam, your MSET or whatever, JEE, whatever it is, when you have written your exam, I'm pretty sure that you all had got mostly similar type of questions or same questions, right? So life is also like an exam. But in the exam of life, we don't have the same question paper, right? For example, 2 students have got the same question paper, they copy from each other, then what happens? There is no problem. But these two students have got different question paper, and one guy copies from other, what happens? The guy who copied is guaranteed to get failed. Because the questions are different, answers will be different. Similarly, life is also like an exam in which we are all with different problems, not the same problems. The problems you have, I do not have, may not have. But the problems I have, you may not have. So life is full of problems, and we are trying to solve them. And interestingly, in the life, all our starting point is not same. See, for example, did you choose your intelligence, how intelligent you should be? If the choice was given to you, you should all ask, give me intelligence like Albert Einstein. Right? Or did you choose your parents, by the way? No, right? If the choice was given, you would have all asked, let my parents be Ambani, so that I don't need to worry about the money at all. Did you choose your height? No, right? More or less, you go to a doctor, it does not increase more than an inch. So this way, in this world, we didn't choose our parents, we did not choose our family, we did not choose our country, we did not choose our height, we did not choose our skin complexion, we didn't choose our hairstyle. Many things were just given to us. Why do we compare? I'm not intelligent like you are not intelligent like me. We're all different. We're all being born different. We're being exposed differently most of the times. Under all these circumstances, why do we compare? You have different problems in life. Your starting point is different. Then we compare, what happens? We become miserable. That's why Einstein says very interesting statement. He says, you bring a fish, you bring an elephant, you bring a monkey, you bring a rat, and you say all these animals, climb the tree. Does it make any sense? Fish can swim, elephant can eat, monkey can jump and climb. Similarly, in this world, we all compare. When we compare, we become miserable. The most of the times, we are miserable not because we don't have things. We are miserable because we are comparing with others. Do you all agree with this? So should we not compare at all? No. Actually, we should see others and take inspiration. You see, Olympic athletes, what they do? They don't compare with others. Their philosophy is very simple. Yesterday I could run 500 meters in so many seconds. Let's say 5 seconds or 10 seconds or a minute, I don't know, 60 seconds. And Olympic medal winner ran the same distance in 10 seconds. If I compare with them, I'll commit a suicide. Because they're practiced for a while in their life. But, if you know that I ran yesterday in 60 seconds so much distance, today I ran in 55 seconds, I made an improvement in my life. So in the life, as long as we try to prove than improve, we will become miserable. Very simple logic. We have to improve than to prove. We want to prove the world, right? I am super, I am super. In that process, we become miserable. But we try to improve, then we become a better person. So the simple thing is, we should not unnecessarily, unhealthily compare with others. We have our own assets, we have our own strong points, and there are people who do certain things better than us. Let's take inspiration from them. What is the second thing? Complain. Mind's nature is to complain. Correct, na? You came to a college 3 days back. Your mind must have already complained. Oh, I imagine this college to be something else, and it is something else. This mess food is something else, and it is something else. This university professors are something else, it is something else. So like this, the nature of the mind is to complain. If you start complaining, there's a lot of big list. And the third thing is criticize. Right? The nature of the mind is to criticize. In this world, we work together. If everything goes well, we say I did it. If things go wrong, We show fingers at a person, might have helped also, still we show finger at him. So this way, we compare, we complain and we criticize. That's why we are all most of the times miserable. But how do I deal with this problem? How do I deal with this problem is a $1 million question. Okay, you are telling don't compare. How do I do it? It's natural, right? In this world, as long as you see next one, is he wearing better dress than me? Is he more intelligent than me? He is coming from a richer family than my family. And whenever we think we have anything better than them, we feel very proud about it. Whenever we see anything lower than them or about them, then instead of showing compassion, we just say it's very low. So how do we deal with it? There's an interesting answer to this problem. It is said, whenever we see anyone better than us, we should not become envious of them. We should not have a jealous about them. Rather, we should serve them nicely and we should learn from them. Then it's natural that you'll get all those good qualities because you would like to share. If you show that you have it, I will somehow get it, see how I'm going to get it, then that fellow will never share what he has. But if you actually try to serve them nicely, then you can get it easily. And the second thing is the complain, right? What about the complain? See, in this world, there are so many things to complain. The more we complain, the mind hesitates to complain for everything. The best way not to complain, or the best way to avoid complaining and comparing is when we are with the friends and when we're feeling about jealous about them, we should make a friendship and we should share what we have and they will also share what they have. When you work as a unity, you will not feel jealous about it. And the third thing is, when we see somebody lower than us, we criticize and we push them down. Rather, we should have a compassion towards them and pull them up. This way, we can easily mitigate this problem of compare, complain, and criticize. So, and also, in this world, right, we get so many things. Now, every day, how much air do you breathe? Do you pay any fees for anyone in this world for breathing? Let's say oxygen stops for a while. Can we breathe? We don't stop working. Now, how much water do we drink every day? Maybe 5-10 liters. How much water do we use every day? Maybe 30-40 liters, 50 liters. In this world, you see so many things come even without asking. You may go to a mess and say, yeah, my mess chef has cooked lunch for me today. And that guy to cook, he needs to have ingredients. Where did the ingredients come from? You can say from market. Where did they come to the market? You can say farmer has sent it. But the farmer is working hard, but the rain should be on time. No, this world works in a mystic way. When you go to the mess, mix the food and put it in your mouth and swallow, you don't know how does it get digested. How it transforms into the energy. How it transforms into the blood and energy. How do you function? What goes into this body, we don't know. So every day if you meditate on this, who is giving me air? Who is giving me food? How am I getting digested food? All these things, when you meditate, you will naturally become grateful. There are many things in this world that are just given to us. We just breathe. Imagine you stop breathing for 30 seconds. You start feeling so much difficulty in your body. And that's given. The moment you came out of the mother's womb, till we die, we take unlimited breaths. You want to be grateful in this world, you will be happy. It's very simple. For everything you get in life, if you are grateful, you will be joyful. If you are always complaining in nature, then you will be miserable. Very simple. So this way, if you want to mitigate these three cancers of mind, we should change the way we think. Okay. So what are the consequences of the uncontrolled mind? Lack of confidence, depression, loss of trust, stress, hypertension, madness, dangerous diseases, weakened determination, damage to oneself, family and society. Right? Okay, what is the nature of the mind? Very interesting. So, Arjuna asks Krishna, look, it's so difficult to control my mind. And he quotes this verse, this very famous verse. He says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manne vayurus dushkaram. What this verse meaning is, Chanchalam means restless. Our mind is restless, right? You are sitting here, but the mind is thinking 200 things. When does this guy going to leave this class? It's all boring. When am I going to mess and eat the food? When I'm going to watch next YouTube video? I just passed that video and came to college. I just want to watch it. When am I going to attend classes? When am I going to home? Like this, the mind is restless. Restless means, you see monkeys sometimes, they can't just stay at one place. They jump from one branch to another branch. Have you seen the kids? They're also like that. They can't sit at one place. Our mind is like a monkey and a kid. Both roles at place. And he says, turbulent, obstinate and very strong. Mind is obstinate. If it wants, it wants. See, sometimes children goes to a supermarket with mother, shop, and he sees a dairy milk chocolate. He says, I want the chocolate, mommy, he says. Mother says, no chocolate. Your teeth is gone bad. If you eat more chocolate, all teeth will be gone. You will become toothless. Then you know what does this fellow say? I want chocolate. Mother says, no chocolate. Then he cries. He doesn't stop there. The more mother stresses more that no chocolate, this fellow cries more harder. After that, you know what he does? He rolls on the ground till he gets the chocolate. The mind is like that. If mind wants something, it's obstinate, very strong. It wants, it means it wants. So Arjuna is telling, oh Krishna, I can actually control the wind, but not my mind. You see, can we really control wind actually? You see here? Okay, so the point here is, can we really control the wind? No, right? Similarly, we can't control the mind. Mind is extremely difficult. Now I'm going to share you a couple of tips how to control the mind in this age of distraction. Okay? Now I'm going to share you some tips how to control the mind. Right? See, to control the mind, it depends upon many things. The first and foremost thing is the mode in which we live. For example, if we live in mode of ignorance, it's extremely difficult to control the mind. It just wants to take rest all the time. If somebody is in mode of passion, the mind is restless. If somebody is in mode of goodness, he can actually control and do what he wants to do. So now we have, you see here 3 animals. There is a fox, there is a lion, there is a cow. Now the fox is an animal which sleeps all day, and night it goes in the hunt of the food. But night all the animals sleep, right? Only engineering students are awake. Generally animals sleep in the night time. It doesn't get any food. Do you know what it does? It actually eats the food left over by some animal. For example, lion chases an animal, kills and eats. Whatever is left, it eats. Similarly, the people who are in mode of ignorance, they eat, they drink, and their habits are all in ignorance. You can see what I'm showing on the left. And the people who are in passion, what animal are you seeing there? Lion. There is a saying, if you put a human being and the lion inside a room, man will take a gun and shoot a lion, or lion will eat the man. They can't work together. That's the nature of the people who are in passion. And finally, what you see is the cow in goodness. The people who are in goodness, they are always calm, clear, and creative because of their habits. Now you can see the one who is in mode of ignorance, his eating habits, his sleeping habits, his working habits are generally lazy, procrastinating, and giving trouble to others. And then we have the lion. The lion is like a passionate animal. Somebody who is in passion, he wants to always show others I am great. If somebody who is in goodness, then he gets the qualities like knowledge, he is very clever, he is calm and creative. So if you want to control your mind, you should not be either in ignorance or in passion, but you have to come to goodness. This is the first tip. See, now we are all addicted to smartphones. How many of you agree that we are all addicted to smartphones? Wow, good number, right? See, this is a very big problem right now. How do you deal with it? See, in the screen, there is a guy who has got a smartphone and installed all the applications on his smartphone. Now, the moment you wanted to call someone, you take phone out of your pocket, you see some 10 notifications, correct? You click on one notification, it takes you to somewhere. Let's say YouTube. You watch the video. While watching the video, the YouTube knows what is the next best video for you. It shows you that video. Like that, we just spend a lot of time and we put the phone back. And after some time, we even forget that we took the phone to call someone else. Did it happen to you many times? So this way, we are highly distracted. Then how do I deal with it? You see here, this guy who used smartphone so much, he committed suicide also. Because he was unable to do anything in life. He was just highly distracted. So, how much we are addicted to the phone and internet is unbelievable. See, there was one lady who was pregnant. She was taken to hospital for a labor pains. She delivered a baby and went into unconscious mode. After a couple of hours, she got up and she was madly searching. Then the nurse came and said, don't worry, your baby is safe with us. Then you know what she said? No, actually, I'm not looking for the baby. My husband gifted new smartphone, I'm looking for it, she said. So the people are addicted to smartphones so much. Now the point here is, in this age of distraction, if you want to focus on something, you got to know how to use your smartphone. The smartphone is something which is in your pocket. It's like an atomic bomb you are carrying. People commit suicide. People get distracted. People cheat others, get cheated. All happens through the cell phone only. Now you have to know the art of using it. So the best way to use it is, don't turn on the notification unnecessarily. See, the phone is meant to call, not to just do everything else. We do everything else, not just call with the phone, right? So that's why you got to know the art of using the phone. Then your distraction, you can reduce it by using it only for the purpose you need it. But you have so many applications in your phone, you don't even use it many times, right? So the next thing is, from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Many times when we are studying, right, we are not able to focus. Our minds goes here and there. What you should do? You should bring back the mind and beat with your old shoe. Don't go anywhere, just study. So whenever you realize that the mind is wandering here and there, bring it back and focus on the study, whatever you are studying. Right? Positive thoughts lead to endorphin secretion, generate energy and strength. See, whenever you have a positive thoughts, when you engage the mind in positive thoughts, you get a secretion called endorphin. And that gives you a lot of positive energy. So this way, in life, if you want to be happy, you should have a lot of positive thoughts. And negative thoughts, rather, will work in other way. The negative thoughts lead to another secretion which robs of the power, strength, and make us feel tired and drained. Right? So this way,
It's not that to become strong, we just have to eat physical food. You go to a mess and eat. That's important. But actually, how strong you are actually depends upon what is your mental status. If your mind is weak, it doesn't matter. For example, let's say that after first semester of this college, you go to your home and you ate in the mess and your stomach has become a mess. And you told your mother, Mother, I want to eat very nice food. And she cooked a wonderful feast for you. And you are just about to eat. Meanwhile, you got a phone call. And all the grades of the first semester are declared and you are the topper. One subject grade is not declared. And your friend called and said, Look, my dear friend, you're just about to eat sweet rice. The first spoon of the sweet rice in your mouth, you got a phone call, and your friend said, You got D grade and you are degraded. How does a sweet rice look like? Taste like? Very bitter, right? So, this way in this world, the thoughts play a crucial role. That's why we should always have a positive thoughts, which increases the energy in us. Now, I'm going to share a couple of tips by which you can actually get positive thoughts. Just A, B, C, D, E formula. That's it, you have to remember. If you forget everything out of this session, remember A, B, C, D, and E. A means association. Who are your friends will define how happy you are, how miserable you are, how successful you will be, how much service you are going to do for the society. Right? So try to choose the right friends. Association makes a lot of difference in life. If I want to become a thief in life, I have to make a friendship with thieves, right? If I want to become a biggest drunkard in this area, I should make friendship with people who drink alcohol. But if I want to be a good student, I have to make friendship with good students. Similarly, if you want to control the mind, you should know the art of reading good books. Books can inspire us to walk on the right path. The C stands for chanting or meditation. If you do meditation, the best way to control the mind and discipline the mind is through the process of meditation. Through meditation, what happens? You can actually focus, learn the art of focus. And the next thing is D. D means diet. Your thoughts also actually depends upon the type of food you eat. If you eat the food which are spicy and unhealthy, then what happens? Your thoughts also will become like that. And the last E means engagement. How do you spend your time when you are free? If you spend your time in positive way, doing some service and working for the people, then you get the positive thoughts. So A for association, B for books, C for meditation, D for diet, E for engagement. If you can make sure that these 5 things are set right, they can actually control the mind and you can achieve big things in life. Thank you very much.